Well, hello, everybody, to this spooky season for episode. What are we? What are we at now? We're at like 80, I think, 82
Uh,
of Open
I'll take your word
House.
for it.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a special guest in the background who keeps laughing at me, and it kind of makes me sad, but it's okay. Actually, let me go ahead and get them on screen since everybody cares about this special guest more than the actual host of the show. But we got Toast in the house once again. Yeah, we
So
got Toast.
adorable.
Toast. All right. Well, I'm gonna hand her
So
back off to
little.
my still so
How come
little.
she's so
I'm gonna
small?
hand her off back to my wife. Maybe we'll have Toast join us later, but she's kind of rambunctious. What's up, Christopher? Oh, I talked to Christopher earlier today in a meeting together. It's great to see you in the chat, man. Thanks for joining us. I did tell you I was going to dress up like a wizard today, didn't I? So
I'm the
here
only
I
one
am.
who did not realize that.
Yeah, I didn't
It was
really let
such
a
a
lot of
surprise.
people know. No, this isn't Dean. This is Nucamp's lead warlock. That's it. I was gonna put that as my name, but Xandra said it would be too cringe. So I
Hey,
just
I'm not taking the heat for that, Vito.
yeah, I decided not to go with it. Now, like we know how these open houses go. It's for an hour long of us being able to hang out all together and answer some questions. This is still a tech show, you know. Uh, it
Mm-hmm.
may not look like a tech show. I just kind of wanted to get into the holiday season a little bit, but it is still time for us to like answer your questions in regards to getting into tech. How are you wanting to do that? How are you trying to do that? Why? Like, are you drawn to this in the first place? And so,
Look how much
that's
look how
great.
much Dean does for you people. I hope you
I
appreciate
love you guys.
the amount of
That's
effort.
why I'm totally I've only dressed up like this once. Totally not outside of the live stream at all. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I got this beard and hat, I put it on immediately and drove around with it and just like waved to people. Made so many people's days. I hope at least. Um, so while we're still kind of kicking things off, like I said, you guys know how this goes. Ask us questions about tech, about Nucamp, some of the curriculum, how we're going to help you get into that. But to kick off the first question, I have a question for you guys in spirit of what's going on in holiday spirit. And I'm a movie buff. What is y'all's favorite Halloween movie? Answer in the chat. I'm very curious to know if there's anybody that wants to kind of make this a little bit more interactive. We're going to let some people kind of flood in a little bit. Ludo is the Nucamp chief magician.
That's
So
what I was saying.
I was okay.
That was my fear. That
I don't know if Ludo's watching right now, but
Mhm.
for a second, I thought about having my name as Ludo for a little bit. Xandra and I were cracking up about that, and like I stole, as if I stole Ludo's identity. But we know how that
He's
wouldn't have
the
gone.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. No, see, I was wrong. That's right, chief magician, not chief wizard or warlock.
oh yeah,
He
chief
would have been
magician.
he would have been
Well,
in the clear.
is it magician? You know, is it? I'm gonna take like some of this stuff off here in a second because it's actually fogging up my glasses and it's getting kind of difficult for me to breathe.
Step to the side and have a quick shave, and
It's a
it will
spell, actually. I don't even.
distress.
Uh, looky here. Yeah, you look hella dope though, Dean. Yeah, thanks, man. What are you gonna be doing for Halloween? Are you gonna be dressing up? Are you gonna be doing anything?
I
The
I don't dress up for Halloween. I don't partake, but I appreciate the good costume party every now and then myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to an '80s theme party. Actually, no, it was a back to school theme party last month, and I rocked the Nirvana T-shirt for
Oh, there
making
you go.
the '90s
Yeah.
shout out. So I appreciate a good frolic in the
If you go
costume
to the
department.
last open house, I kind of was
Mhm.
starting to go in that direction for my hair. I was starting to look a little bit like
Kurt Cobainish.
Kurt Cobainish, huh? What
Hmm.
for me though?
It was working for you. It was working for you. But I like your new. You're gonna show the people
Oh,
once you
get the wig cut off
yeah,
up
yeah.
in a second. Well, actually, I still have a lot of hair underneath this hat, but I'll
Hmm.
perform a spell to make it look better here in a second. So,
No
okay, we're getting some answers in here. We got Nightmare on Elm Street as one of them. I love and hate that movie because it's like Freddy Krueger's funny and he's terrifying too. Like he makes jokes and they're pretty raunchy and they're really messed up and it's scary. It's just because it's just a little bit different than what you would usually see. Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, I think that's a Tim Burton film. I was watching Beetlejuice last night actually, and I just realized how weird this guy is. And I love his films though. Edward Scissorhands is a classic. Alea's in the chat. What's up, Alea? Alea is one of our advisors. She might dial in later to answer some of y'all's questions. So, and we got a shout out to you, Zandra. That's sick.
It's heart-shaped box.
Heart-shaped box.
Hard to see.
I'm gonna step to the side and perform a couple spells and get this hair off of me. I'll be right back.
I will just give, since I don't really do Halloween movies, but one of my all-time favorite movies ever is Three Idiots. It's a Bollywood movie. I don't know if any of y'all know that. Hey, you see, you showed the people, and now you shall reap the reward.
And I'm going to keep the hat.
I think the new do is working for you too.
The ring. Oh, okay. So is that the one where she would come out with her hair in front of her face and stuff like that? My sister used to do that when I was little and to scare me. But yeah, I love this activity in the chat. Like, absolutely.
You
love
are
this.
onto something with the discuss question.
Yeah. I like, this is something we're trying out, guys. As you know, we're always trying new things around here. But this, like, kind of like a pre-show type, or not pre-show, like entry for the show for you guys. Like, it's just a fun question. It doesn't always have to be tech. I mean, that is still part of the show. But hey, wait, I got a new complaint. You guys are funny. We got a funny chat in here today.
One thing I do like around Halloween time is Syntax FM. They do those scary dev stories. Have you ever heard their podcast?
No, that is a funny idea though.
It's hilarious. I love that. It's like, oh, I blew up Prod, or I emailed every single customer.
I deleted an entire database with no guardrails. Yeah. I deployed something on a Friday. I'm looking at you, CrowdStrike. Come on.
Well, that's going to be on there this year.
That's going to take it. That's going to take the cake, I think.
Will the person who did it step forward and send an email to Syntax FM? Let me see if I can find a link for that.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to see that in the future. Shortly after that happened, that person who did do that mistake reached out to Elon Musk on Twitter because he was trending and said, "Hey, can you give me a job?" It was pretty funny, actually.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, all of that aside, we're about 10 minutes into the live stream right now. Just a reminder that it is still a live stream to really answer y'all's questions about tech. So I'm going to present you guys a new question. Actually, let me type it out so that way I can show you guys on screen. But the question is going to be, what is like the scary thing holding you guys getting into tech, or what is the scary thing while you're learning these new languages for you guys? So what's scary about learning new languages and things like that? I'm kind of curious. I have some of my, like, in light of this, scary developer type stories. For me, it was just analysis paralysis, but or not analysis paralysis, imposter syndrome. But that runs rampant in this community. Everybody has imposter syndrome. Mine was so severe to a point where if I even talked to someone about tech and I knew they knew just as much as me, it made me feel uncomfortable. And so that was kind of something I struggled with. So I'm kind of curious what everybody else has to say.
Yeah, I felt like that too for a while. And then I realized, like, oh, everybody's afraid to just say, I don't know. The words, I don't know. People are just afraid to say, like, when you hear some random acronym, like, what is that? I don't know. I never heard of that framework. People don't want to say that because you don't want to sound like you don't know a framework when there's like literally thousands of frameworks out there. So nobody should feel bad about saying, I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah. It's just such a vast ocean that it does get kind of scary because then the worst thing is when you talk to someone about a certain framework or a language that you're not super familiar with, they may go, how do you not know that? That's like the worst thing that could happen. I feel like.
Which that is really bad. And then you never want to do that to somebody else. Unless it's like, I never heard of Bootstrap and I'm a front end developer.
I might. Yeah, I will disagree with what this person just said. Asking questions and looking foolish. I'm doing that right now. So I don't know. No, I'm playing.
It is scary. It is scary to ask questions.
No. In all seriousness, it is. And I gotta throw it on screen. Dean makes a cute wizard, warlock, but I'll take it. Thank you, Krista, for that compliment. I'm concerned about automation taking over. That's actually a very valid one. I actually, while I was typing this question out, was kind of wanting to reshape it. What about tech is going to be scary? Like, we've seen these new androids come out that Elon Musk has done and some other things. And, it's kind of freaky. But the automation process of taking over, I think was running rampant a couple years ago, but the pendulum swing starting to go into the other direction for this. It just kind of depends on the technologies, but it is a valid concern, not one to over worry about now, though. I guess in another way to kind of approach how scary automation could be, or RPA, robotic processing automation, could be, what are you doing to kind of like get ahead of that, right? I mean, what is going to utilize maybe that automation, what works in tandem with it, and maybe upskilling in that process, because becoming a developer isn't a one-stop shop type of deal. Like, you have to always keep going. It's a little exhaustive at a certain point where you have to just keep learning and keep learning and keep learning. But that's what's going to pay you the big bucks down the line. Do you have any thoughts on automation or anything like that, Xandra?
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching, I think it was Gary Marcus on this BBC interview not too long ago, like a few days ago. And he was saying how the AI automation has been oversold. It's really still early days. And people were just like, oh, we're going to replace all these developers. And that started spreading around. And slowly they're trying to like walk that back because they're realizing that, okay, AI is a tool to help developers. It is not going to build your product for you. Not yet anytime, and not yet anyway, and maybe not anytime soon even. So I think a lot of people are going to have to eat some crow and maybe even ramp up hiring again once they realize that, they were too quick on the trigger there. So,
I was
be ready for the pendulum swing to go back the other way.
Yes, I was talking to an aspiring developer recently, and they're not even junior level. They're like infancy level, whatever you want to call that, like learning their first language, hello world type of deal. They start crossing over into Leak Code and Code Wars. If you're familiar with Code Wars, they're problems and puzzles that you would solve. They'll give you an algorithm, they'll give you a task, you type in the code, and boom, you earn points. It's a fun little interactive thing. I like to do it occasionally. And this aspiring developer that I was talking to was mentioning, oh my gosh, I just pasted into ChatGPT what to do for a level 8 kata, and it gave me the answer. And I'm like, well, it's the easiest question. And so it's funny, though, because that injected so much fear into this aspiring developer that made me realize that that's all it is. It's fear mongering. And if you're new to the internet, I don't know if you've seen that fear mongering is a huge trend in order to get clicks and to drive up, entertainment and then revenue and things like just fear mongering in general. That's why gossip's so huge. That's why gossip news and magazines and all that kind of stuff has been around.
Instead of telling people stuff that's going to help them overcome their fears and like giving people tips on, what you should actually do, people will just go for the low hanging fruit and make a scare video or something and then and get the clicks.
Yeah. Krista asked a great question about Toast. Has she found a job? Toast is doing a little freelance to upgrade her portfolio a little bit. So she's making a couple websites right now for a couple people. So it's nice to see what Toast is doing. Let's see. Christopher says, yeah, they expect you to know everything, like someone expecting a doctor to know all parts of medicine. Exactly. And it's funny though, because like you got to tell those doctors exactly how you're feeling about certain things too. There is like this weird expectation of, getting all of the answers right away without properly diagnosing or giving proper context. So if you're struggling, like getting to the root and being vulnerable with someone about what you're going through in regards to learning how to code is going to be crucial. You need to have some type of accountability, which is why a lot of people get into our program too. Maybe they're going self-taught, but they just don't have the structure. They don't have the accountability. That's the number one thing I think kills people in this learning this stuff. Let's see. AI will just make you a better developer. I agree with that. And I think AI will make us more powerful individuals individually as developers. It's like y'all are on the same wavelength. I'm starting to think y'all might be AI in this chat, honestly.
Co-sign from Christopher there. So that's good. Krista and Christopher on the same page.
Chris has a great point here, though. What's scary about starting in tech, spending my limited time and energy learning and failing to become employed and like extremely valid. You could say that about a lot of things, though, not just through tech, learning a new skill, having fun with something. And yeah, I think that's a valid fear to have, only if you're not getting into a controlled environment that's streamlined and where you have a roadmap. If you're curious on that, then scan this code. Oh gosh, where am I? Right there. I'll send you a syllabus or something like that, and we can have more of a personal conversation. So let me know, Chris, if you ever want to chop it up sometime.
I have comments on that.
Yeah, you look like you had something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are spending all the time learning, which is very admirable. So many people just kind of go with the flow through life and, are not challenging themselves to learn new things. So good job, trying to boost yourself up. But then, you get so learned, you feel like you know how to build things, and then you hit the job hunt portion of things, and that's another huge hurdle. I think that's worth spending some of that limited time and energy too, like learning how to approach the job hunt, because it's not just learning the skills and coding or cybersecurity, but it is also learning how to approach the job market. And that's something that keeps changing too. So it's not how it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even during the pandemic. It's different now. So I think Chris is definitely touching on a sore point there for a lot of folks.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to get out there, shake a hand, look somebody in the eye and say, this is what I'm good at, because it's a skill that doesn't go around much anymore. People
fear.
Yeah, it is a fear. It's like an anxiety thing. Like doing that is kind of tough for a lot of people, and I get why. But it's so crucial to kind of put yourself out there if you want to get there faster. I mean,
Leaving
eventually,
the house during the job search. You have to leave the house. You must go outside of the house during the job search.
think of
There's
it
no
like an
other way
investment.
to say
Like,
it.
yeah, think of it like an investment. If you leave the house for a little bit, then you get the remote job and stay indoors longer. So,
Exactly.
so Neil, yes, yeah, go ahead. Ask me any questions that you got about the cyber side of the program. Like, what do you want to know? Prompt me a question and I'll answer it. Toast is always welcome at Tabby Tech anytime. Well, thank you, Krista. My cat's getting crazy job opportunities, even more than me. That's great. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Christopher has a question. Do you have examples of the best portfolio that have landed jobs from any graduates from the program? I really want to see and explore them and the best resumes that got interviews. I don't think we have anything for resumes, mainly because that would be doxing a lot of people. I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, a lot of people with resumes put their address on there too. So I feel like that would be an infringement of people's privacy.
Yeah, but if you go to nucamp.co/blogs,
boom,
you'll see some of the, well, not just instructors, but also some of the alumni who have gotten jobs. And you could kind of cross-reference that with the Job Outcomes Graduate Projects page. If you see any of their names on the projects page, you can kind of do a little bit of sleuthing and see which projects they might have shown to a potential hiring organization.
There is a great, tab on our website just to be able to get a good visual of some of these graduates' projects, and they'll run through a demo, and it'll even say the type of boot camp they went through, kind of a breakdown more of it. Christopher, we talked today on the phone. I have your email. I will send you a direct link and a little bit more info tailored towards that later today. Yeah, you know what? You're asking for it. You ask, you shall receive. I will just pull it up. Let's see here. I will.
I chatted it to you.
Oh my gosh. Boom.
There's blogs, and then there's also graduate projects, and you can see the students featured in the blogs. You can see the students' projects that were featured. Yeah.
And let me reply to another one here for you, Chris. Yeah, check those out.
Good questions. Good questions.
I love this
today. We got a good group.
Yeah, we got a great little group. Let's keep it going too. So Neil asked, Mr. Dean, although I have a 4-year degree, will an employer take me seriously although I'm going the Nucamp route? They would take you more seriously. I'm not sure if I understand because like if you already have a 4-year degree and you're only doing more to excel the benefits of having that 4-year degree, then yeah, they're definitely going to take you more serious. I do want to ask though, what type of degree is it? And that's not to say that it doesn't matter. If you have a 4-year degree, you're doing so much better than a lot of people out there. But it also, it also matters of like what you're learning in line with it and what you're building in line with it too. Because let's say you have a 4-year degree and I don't know, give me something random, Xandra. I can't even think.
Let's say anthropology.
Anthropology. I don't even know what that is.
That was the first random thing that happened. How about chemistry? Chemistry.
Yeah, sure, chemistry. Put me on the spot. Maybe look dumb. I don't have my wizard. I don't have my wizard stuff. I'm not smart anymore.
No, you know why I was thinking that? Because of your. I was thinking about like Bowser. You said baby Bowser.
Oh yeah, Bowser Jr. Right.
And then like you know how they study other cultures in anthropology, and I'm like, okay, that's like a whole little village of other little creatures you have behind you there. I don't think the people can see it, but I was thinking about that from an anthropological perspective earlier.
So Neil, this is funny. I almost want to ask, this could be a weird question, but is your name Walter? Because I have talked to somebody named Walter who has a 4-year criminal justice degree trying to get into cybersecurity. And we talked extensively about this, about how good it could be, the fact that you come from a criminal justice background and getting into cybersecurity.
Neil
I
can
mean,
neither confirm nor deny that his name is Walter.
yeah, well, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I'm just saying it's very funny parallel that I did talk to someone who has a very similar background, and it seems like they may be proceeding forward. I'm not sure, but I think they're going to do really, really great in the program, and they're really going to find a lot of success because of that background.
Nice.
And if you're coming from criminal justice, I mean, think about what you're doing within cybersecurity. You're protecting people's data. That would get you even further from probably like a more government level position, working with cyber. That's, yeah.
Good job. Good job. You see how much Dean cares for the people? Dean cares about the people. He remembered your name was Walter.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew it. Boom. What's up, Walter? That's awesome. I felt like I played a game of Clue just now. Everyone's so helpful. Thanks. Yeah, and Krista's in the chat too. So if you want to go back and forth with Krista in the chat, she's super, super knowledgeable about a lot of things. So definitely ask her some questions.
Yeah, Walter, if you have a 4-year degree, just go back to what school did you get your degree from? If it was not too long ago, like within the past 5 years or so, go to the school career services department and say, what kind of employers do y'all work with? If there's any job fairs coming up, you can start making a list now of companies in your area that might be hiring in the security space. Hospitals, large local businesses that are kind of mid to large local businesses, that kind of thing. Like start collecting a list of targets, and then you won't have that fear like, oh, are they going to want me with this other degree? That you can kind of mitigate some of that fear by preparing.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Arno has a question. I have a 4-year degree in literature, for example. LOL. That's awesome.
Hey.
Do you have
major here?
There you go. Heck yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like that's very transferable too. I guess Xandra can tell me more as to why. I have a thought, but do you have any initially, Xandra, since you have more of that background?
It's a language, and you have to read all day as a developer, basically.
Fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, if you know how to read documentation, you know how to decipher weird sentence structure. You know how to interpret and read between the lines. So yeah, I think that correlates, especially now people are using LLMs so heavily. People are going so hard on prompting and all that stuff. You know how to write and express yourself clearly, then that's going to be an edge.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but then Sandra dropped all of that wisdom, and so I'm just gonna let her carry that through, because that was awesome.
Oh,
to you both, what's your favorite full stack project that you have done? So personally, I know Xandra, you're working through one right now.
Yeah, it's always the newest, shiniest thing. So I have a Django project that I've been kind of playing with on the side, since I don't really get to code every single day anymore. But it is full stack in the sense that it is Bootstrap on the front and Django on the back end. So it's barely full stack.
It is full stack though.
With MySQL. And it is a little dashboard that I've started building for myself. Just trying to help the Nucamp students track their job search. So it's kind of in the toy stages for a while, and just whenever I'm have some time, I kind of play with the Python and a little bit of JavaScript there.
Some of my favorite full stack projects that I've done have been extraordinarily I don't want to say simple, but they really feel like they have been. So when I graduated from a different boot camp many, many moons ago, I took more of a freelance, like entrepreneurial type of route where I would build free websites for companies in my local area that I knew didn't have websites at all, or maybe
Nice.
they couldn't afford them or what have it be. So
Exactly. That's what you got to do.
I took all the risks though, because that's still, I want to preface that still does take money. You have to have a little liquid to go and do
Yes,
something like that, because
if you can.
hosting domains, like getting that kind of stuff it takes a very small amount of money. But I built
And you
that
still got to
for,
pay your rent.
there you go.
Mhm.
And so I built that, gave it to him for free, completely for free, saying, hey, here's this. Um, if your business starts to take off a little bit more, or you start to see that percentage go up with profits or revenue, whatever it is, then maybe, I'd give them a day, maybe 3 months, 6 months, or whatever it was. Let's revisit how to maintain this website, or I would just take it down. I mean, because it was free to begin with. I wasn't contractually obligated.
Did you do
Um,
the fading website where it's like opacity or increases every day?
I wish I did. That
I've seen
sounds
that one.
that's hilarious. Some of my favorite projects I've done have been through those, working with some databases and but presenting a good front end website as well.
The
Working,
simplest is the most funnest, I find.
yeah, and I got to a routine of like I could just hammer out like these more intricate websites, and if there was a new thing presented to me, let's say after that trial period, well, hey, could we add in this type of service? Sure, let me see how I can do that. And then you're making money, you're maintaining something. If you have that website, I had it more of a subscription base, so now you start making a residual. I recommend a lot of people go that route. It's fun. It's fun. But anyway, so I'm kind of wondering what happened, because the chat's dead now. So what's going on? I
What
guess
did
we got to
it?
prompt you guys a new question. We've been talking about how tech is scary, and it's spooky season. So I got to come up with something on the fly here. Let's do.
I think what's the scariest part of the job search? That's a good one.
What is the serious job?
What's your what's your fear? Hit me, throw them at me. Yeah, and then if you have a specific situation that you're dealing with, let us know.
Yeah, Xandra is an expert. Leia's
Uh,
still chilling out here. What's up, Leia? We might.
yeah. Hey,
Dead?
Alea.
Dead?
We resurrected the chat.
Krista, what'd you make? Let me see here. I made an app for an animal shelter that did food pantry. And the app could track the donations, storage locations, donators for thank yous,
Oh,
and recipients if they wanted more help. Well, gosh, that is just really down to earth and really freaking nice and awesome. That's awesome. Oopsies.
that is nice.
Um, what about paid internships? Is that a good route to go, and how? Um, I can't really speak to this too much. Maybe Xandra can a little bit more. However, I do want to say, initially reading that, I'm not a fan of them. And the reason being for that is I think that internships have kind of molded into this, like, oh, if you go the traditional college education route, then maybe certain internships, you know, they'll have requirements that you need to be in an accredited program of some sort. I've seen a lot of those. And because of that, I don't really like it. And in another sense, though, the example of how I got started, what's the differences on that? Working for free, providing a product, building up your portfolio while also starting a business. I mean, it's kind of the same as an internship. You're getting that experience already. So I would say if you're in college, maybe. If you're not in college, I personally don't really like that route, but Xandra might have a different thought.
I'm pretty much on the same page. We do have some students at Nucamp that are in college and they're supplementing. They're like, hey, this college is not covering React, or they're not covering this and that. So let me supplement my learning.
Oh yeah.
And they're with us. If you're in college, yeah, why not? If you don't have to, um, if you don't need a full time job while you're in college, or if maybe you're living with your parents, or maybe you're on a scholarship or something. Hey, it's gravy. It's something to think about. But it is also, what Dean said. You're gonna make somebody else money, and what are they giving you in return? Really make sure um, that you're getting something out of the internship, and you're not just going to be a slave. Or you're not even going to be coding. They're gonna put you on some other project or something. Really make sure. Like, you could look on LinkedIn and see what other interns came out of their internship program, or you could ask them, what have some of the other interns gone on to? Are they working at the company? You could try to do a little research before you go down that route.
Yeah, I love also what Krista said here too. Internships are recruiting right now, but most are requiring college junior or senior. So you may have to take the program to get an exception. So there are caveats depending on the internships. Now, here's another thing though. If you do start the networking process, let's say you do take my piece of advice, you go up, shake someone's head, hey, I'm so-and-so, this is what I'm good at. Maybe you could create an internship for yourself if you present
Yes.
an opportunity to yourself there. Say, hey, I'm just trying to learn. Can I maybe come in for a day just to shadow? You never know. You just never know. That's essentially the same thing. I like to get to know people's names, and I have no clue how to say this name.
I know who that is.
You know who that is?
I won't out him.
Oh, no. Okay.
Out him on the internet like
That's
that.
fine.
I ain't gonna do you like that.
We'll be Ludo. It's Ludo undercover.
3.
Yeah. Just 3, you said? That's what we'll call him?
Bizix.
Chavuver. Yeah. I'm just going to call you 3 then.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I see. Dean, what would you say the highlight of your job? Probably this right now. I mean, look at this. I'm here dressed up like a wizard with tons of Halloween stuff, talking about tech with people and how to get them started on the right way with Xandra. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. And you said, and the low light. I know it's kind of a cop out, but I don't know if I really have many lows with this, just because it's been one of the best positions I've ever had in my career, and I'm very thankful to be here. And just to give you some context, when I started as a developer, the reason I kind of stepped away a little bit from that was because I was getting burnt out, and I wanted to be with people a little bit more. So I got into consulting and advising. Then I got burnt out on that because I went too far one way or too far the other way. Now, this particular job, I'm doing both. I'm consulting, I'm advising, I'm steering people on the right direction, and I'm also talking about tech, which is something I'm really passionate about and that I love. So I see both of those converge. Sure, there are certain things in both aspects that I don't really like, but generally speaking, 99.999% of the time, it's just awesome. So,
that's
yeah.
Cool. I would say there are aspects that get kind of repetitive, but because you talk to so many students, but fortunately, Nucamp has wonderful people, and we get all kinds of different tasks, since it's a relatively small team. So we all get a chance to do different things, and I get to help people, which is what I like to do. So yeah, I really like it too.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
nobody asked you, Zandra.
No, it's not that at all. It's just, it kind of makes me reflect and think about, for a while, I was thinking about these boot camps that I've gone through, this knowledge I've obtained. Is it really going to be worth it for me now that I might be in this consulting job or years before? Like, I know I have this skill in my back pocket, so what am I going to do with it? And now seeing it still find its way into my life in some type of way. It's great. And it further solidifies when I go on these streams and I say, more jobs are asking for technical experience. More jobs are asking for X, Y, and Z. And so let's say you learn cybersecurity, right? You go through it, learn all the languages, but you still want to do maybe something like advising or something like that. Cybersecurity sales, for instance, they're not going to hire just a salesperson for that. They're going to hire someone who also knows the technologies because it's a very, very particular type of role. But, you know, you have to have a technical background. So there are still ways you can find it. Like the back end course, for instance, we go over cloud, right? Think about how many companies are needing cloud services. Think about how that ties into data, for instance. Never been a more important time in human history to know how data works. And so anyway, I just really love it.
True.
Whoop.
True that.
Stepped off my soapbox. There we go, you guys. Let me scroll through here. I got the heart emoji. Thank you. Good stuff, Dean. Keep it up. Good stuff to you. You keep it up, anonymous, whoever you are. Do I know them, Xandra? Is this a person that you know that I know?
Possibly, yes.
Possibly, yes. I like the mysterious aspect. Do you know how?
You're supposed to know everybody.
Do you know how I can enter the stream? Yeah, I know exactly how you can enter the stream. No.
No more time left.
This is a
Just kidding.
This up here is not actually to get into the stream. This is just to schedule a call. Like if you want more of a one-on-one type of what we're doing here, but maybe for me to hear more of your personal background. It's not going to be that. So I bet you that was Alea who just
Yeah, Dean, you could send
scan
her
the QR code too.
Let
me pull this up. Can you go over that question?
I can help out Cory there. Cory, you want to help people? That is excellent. So when you say that you came across LinkedIn, Nucamp on LinkedIn, yeah. So there is a link in the footer of our site. And if you click there where it says jobs, you can see if we have any postings for instructors. I would say keep an eye on it, because if you look at the trajectory of Nucamp, we've added courses over the years, and then we need instructors to conduct those courses. So definitely keep an eye on that jobs link in the footer. I'm not sure if it says careers or jobs, but click there, bookmark it, refresh it. I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
It also says at the end, I think Nucamp's workshops would be great to join. But if you're also looking for an opportunity to join Nucamp and then host a workshop, there's a great ambassador program to be able to do something of the sort. So definitely go down, scroll all the way, careers. I think that's where the ambassador program is too. I think.
What's your language that you're good at, Cory? What's your main language?
Yeah, now I'm kind of curious. Real quick though, we have a special guest. Boom, Alea, you're here.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Alea? What's going on?
How are you guys? This is my first time being on. I'm nervous. But
you're good.
This was a good chat to come on to because it's been lively the whole time.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So like for context of who Alea is one of our trusted advisors. And so she is just really amazing on helping, kind of doing what me and Zandra do as well, helping people steer.
The dream team here.
Yes, this is all of us, honestly.
Yeah.
Three-way for an open house would be really fun. I feel like
Yeah.
let's all three jump on one someday. Let's do that. That'd be fun. But welcome, Zandra. What's going on with you today? Mm-hmm. Or not Xandra, Alea, sorry. Whoops. It's all man, you know what? Maybe 3 is too much. I'm playing.
I know. I wanted to enter now because, Dean, when you were answering about because you were talking about how what could you use for the skill set, and you have the tech background, but now you're not in it. I feel like that's something I've learned is actually really useful to have different backgrounds, because I feel like a lot of the people I speak with are people that are changing careers and are wanting to, enter this new path of going into software engineering. And I think what I tell everyone is having more skills is never going to hurt. And one day you might wake up and be like, oh, I want to go back into it, or I want to do something completely different, but still have like something to use this knowledge. Yeah. So I feel like adding anything to your resume and your skill set is always going to be useful, because it might come in handy one day. I think like Xandra was mentioning with like literature, things like that, things that you wouldn't even think are useful in what you're doing at the moment. Everything ties together and might be something you need in the future. So I just wanted to add a little 2 cents. I think it's always good to have more experience than less.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for adding that 2 cents in. It's definitely very appreciated. And once again, like when you schedule out these calls, like for instance, if you go to the website and say schedule a call with an advisor, Alea is one of them, and she's really amazing at what she does. So if y'all get to hear me yap all day, y'all already know what's up with me. So but if you want a fresh perspective, Alea is here for that. So
Alea, I like that. That was pretty deep. I appreciate that perspective, because sometimes people are just like, right now, I need a job right now. I need to get this skills, and how can you can also think about down the road how these things are gonna help you, even if you maybe you don't end up coding, or maybe you end up teaching, or maybe you end up doing marketing or whatever. These skills and this knowledge is gonna be helpful for you and give you an edge, in any role, really. So that was really good. I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance.
No, I think that's how everyone should have their mindset. I feel like it's similar when whether people go to college or they just go into the real world and get different jobs. You start at lots of different places, and a lot of people will go in like to a university undeclared, not knowing what they want to do, or switching majors. I switched my major in college, and I think it's hard to just know what you want to do for the rest of your life. I'm doing something completely different than I even studied either of the times in college. So I think having more rather than being like, oh, it's not useful anymore. At one point it was, and it may be in the future. And I think it just shows that you're well-rounded if you can have different types of experience, even if they're completely unrelated and it's such different types of work that you're doing. I feel like that's something I talk to with people a lot about it when they're like, oh, I just want to switch my career. I'm like, yeah, and that's great, because even if you switch out and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you've had that experience, you could use it in the future. And I think that's really cool. I feel like I've learned a lot in this position, even though I don't have as much of a technical experience as either of you do. I feel like I'm learning a lot from the people that I'm talking to and from you guys. And I think that's really cool for me, because I know a lot more now than I did a few months ago. So even for me, I'm like, I haven't had a technical background, but I feel like I'm a little more knowledgeable when talking about it at this point.
You definitely are. And it's a fun question to ask of like, what doesn't use tech nowadays, right? Yeah. Everything does, just about. And everything. So, a lot of people are afraid to make that pivot, to make that jump. Oh, can I get into this? Well, your work, your whatever that is, has used it in some type of way. Maybe you can grow within that company. You just never know. I don't know what you got going on for the next 10 minutes or I'm say we close it out, all three of us. If you're cool with that. I'm kind of selfishly thinking I want to put on my get up in the last few minutes and get a thumbnail. So that way, I was just thinking how, I think I mentioned this on Tuesday or Thursday when we last spoke. How funny is it to know that somebody is scrolling through LinkedIn right now, trying to get professional insight, and they just see me as a wizard. I just think it's awesome. I love that. But hey, you got 3 of the best advisors at Nucamp. So ask away for some questions right now. We'd be more than happy to close out.
Cory. We got Cory.
Cory's mentioning that this is the skills that they have: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, machine learning with Python and R, Git/GitHub, currently in progress on React.js and Django. Sorry, my mouth started drying out because you have so many skills. I couldn't list them all. Currently, I am enrolled in a bootcamp web development program. I have a personal brand along with a couple other thematic portfolios and desire to make. Well, I think you're on the most ideal track that you could be on right now. The only not ideal track that you're on is, you said, enrolled in a boot camp. Is it Nucamp? Hey, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, you could be a good candidate for the job hunting boot camp as well, to get some more career skills. Have some live workshops to help you with your job search. So yeah, that would also bring you into the Nucamp Discord, where sounds like you're ready to help other people with their code too. So come on in.
Krista does mention helping everyone is always welcome around here, but in general, Nucamp only hires seasoned industry professionals. That is true. There is something to work towards. That's why I think that the ambassador program might be a good stepping stone into something like that. But scan that QR code that way, and we can talk more about that later.
Cool beans.
Christopher has a question. Can we work ahead, or is everything locked in for each week in the boot camp? Who wants to take this question? Rock, paper, scissors.
My mouth is getting dry as well, so I will let
Alea, you think you got this one, or I can take it if you want me to?
Feel free to chime in if you want.
I'll take it, and then if I'm wrong, someone can chime in.
Sure.
So typically, the instructors have a couple days that they'll grade and get back to you. So you can't work too far ahead, because they do, you work on your workshop project each week. So you can get a little bit ahead as far as work on Friday stuff earlier in the week, but week by week, you're typically going to be caught up at the end on the weekends, and then starting on that next Monday. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like an unlocking process. And so, and the reason for that.
Warlock voice going on there.
Yeah. We got it's an unlocking process, and mainly because of quality control, right? If we presented all of the curriculum for you right away, where you could just blast through it, no accountability, no structure, no grading, no nothing like that, how is that going to be really constructive for you, right? So we take it in bite-sized chunks, being week by week, and that's exactly what Alea just said. So
it also helps because a lot of the time you'll need feedback from your instructors, so it doesn't really unlock until the next week. I took the web development fundamentals course, and if I had a question, I'd have to go ask the instructor, and then it's helpful because when you get into the next week, you might have made a mistake or be confused on something from the past, and it does build off of each other. So it is kind of helpful to know that you're on the right track before moving on to the next one and just blasting through it, and then having done maybe multiple things that are incorrect. So I think it is a really helpful structure, honestly.
I missed this question earlier, which is on me. But with a fashion background, what route would you advise in tech? Okay. So I want to take this real quick and just say, if you have a fashion background, you know that you have an eye for design, right? And so that's going to translate, I think, more into the front end, because kind of how colors work, how what people, when they look at something, say either I like it or dislike it. A lot of the front end technologies are going to play more into psychological. That's why a lot of front end developers kind of work closely with the marketing team too, when you're building and scaling something. So if I could point you or shepherd you in any direction, I would start with front end, which is going to be HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. It's the web development fundamentals, at least for what Nucamp covers. That's a 4-week long program, very beginner friendly, tees you up directly into the full stack bootcamp or front end. But full stack is a little bit more. There's more meat in there, and so I would definitely dive into that one. But that's exactly where I would guide you towards. Any thoughts on that, y'all?
Yeah,
I was going to say exactly that. I would start with web development, go into front end or full stack. I think you covered it perfectly. It seems like that would be the most fitting, in my opinion, with the fashion background.
Yeah, and we're getting into the last 5 minutes of the show, so ask your questions, and we'll try and squeeze them in. If we don't get to them, schedule that thing right there, and we can get to them later.
One more thing there on Aisha's fashion stuff too, if I may.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say, are there a bunch of companies out there that you admire already? Make a list, put them in a Google Sheets or Excel sheet or whatever, and just one by one take your time and look them up. Look and see, are they hiring in their IT department? Their if you're looking at cybersecurity, or if you're looking at design, if you want to stick with the design side, look at their front end jobs. Are they hiring for any development roles or tech roles? Fashion company, because there was actually a recent article about how fashion needs to catch up in security, and so that could be a wedge. But then they have a lot of stuff going on in the AR space, virtual reality. People are like trying things on without trying it on. So there's a lot that you could potentially look for too, but do your research.
Yeah, well said.
Sorry, I'm
I'm going to throw a question on the screen, and then I'm going to step to the side to get my little get up on, because I really want to get a family photo of a thumbtag of us. That way I can kind of just get it and then maybe do something with it later. So here's a question from Christopher.
Okay, Christopher, the workshops on the weekend. Do I need to be actively working on something or just listening? I just want to know if I need time off work those days. So, if you're working on the weekends, yeah, good question. It is a choice between Saturday or Sunday for your workshop. So that might help you out. And then we also have the time slots 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. So you could join any one of those depending on where you're in the country. That might help you out with the times too. But also, yes, you do have to actively do something in the workshop. It's not a lecture. And you can you might need time off if neither of those days or times will work for you. Take it away. Take it away, Dean.
Dean is gone.
Okay.
I heard everything you just said, and
Mhm.
I don't really have much else to add onto that. If you're in the workshop and you're there to grow and learn, even if it's a week that maybe you think that I already know this stuff, I don't need to ask questions, get some more insight on what you don't know moving forward. Utilize that time. You only get that workshop in that type of experience once a week. Utilize it as best as possible.
Yeah, and instructors will give helpful tips and things like that you may not get from just the instructions for the weekly project. So I think it's pretty important, if you're able to be there and actively participating, to definitely try and do that.
Gandalf the Nucamp. Yeah. What else? Did I miss anything else?
Krista's been holding it down in the chat.
Krista
too.
is holding it down. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh man, you're even answering questions about the certificates as well. Walter, the certificates exams can be taken up to 3 times, but you are given over 1,000 practice test questions during the course. So you should be ready to study. So a lot of the study material within the cybersecurity bootcamp that Nucamp offers, that directly aligns to even more outside of Nucamp, being the Security Plus, Pen Testing Plus, Certified Ethical Hacker, and the GSEC. So you should be able to just one-shot the exam. Now, if you're wondering, this is a common question I get. I don't know if y'all get it. Well, why don't I just go take the exam and just forego everything with Nucamp, right? Because you'll fail it. That's the simple answer. If you want to go on CompTIA's website and see how much the practice test and the study guide material and the exams and the instructors and the live sessions are online, you can do that. For something like the CompTIA A+, that's a $250 voucher for just the exam. You can go all the way up to $4,000 if you want live sessions. Which is a crazy margin. Nothing against CompTIA. They are amazing at what they do. But that is almost double what the cybersecurity bootcamp is. And you can get up to 7 certificates in total. I don't know. It's kind of a no-brainer. But what do I know aside from spells? So anyway, yeah, we're getting to that we're getting to that point, you guys. So it's 5 o'clock, at least where I'm at. We've been here for an hour. If y'all have any additional questions, utilize this right here. Me or Alea will answer some questions moving forward. Hopefully, we can have Alea in the chat again sometime and do more workshops. I loved having you here. I like doing 3-person a lot, actually. Maybe we might do that next time.
Yeah.
And we'll always love to have you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, you guys. I hope y'all have a great Halloween, a great weekend, and take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.